What adjustment might you need to make? I want to think about that. It is almost the end of July, and we are more than halfway through 2025. I've been considering for myself the adjustments that I need to make personally. So, what adjustments might you need to make? And these aren't bad adjustments a lot of times. Sometimes we may need to tweak something that is good so that we can get to not just great, but sometimes good can be the enemy of what's best or better for us. For those who may think, why do I have to be great? You don't have to be great. You really don't. But one thing that I realize is that the drift in my life and the drift in your life, it actually is the friend of good. Think about it. I have been in a boat where the anchor is placed down in the water, because if it is not, no matter how big the boat is or large the boat is, guess what will happen if it's not anchored down in the water? It will just start drifting. So it's not a matter of you outdoing anybody else or even outdoing yourself. A lot of times, for me as well as for you, it's so easy to get in a different place and space in our minds, in our emotions, and in our behavior, because we don't make necessary adjustments. I'll give you an example. So, as you can see my hair, I did it. You may not be impressed. I'm not attempting to oppress you. What I am going to share is the adjustment that I need to make. I have been growing my hair, and I've talked about in prior videos about the fibroid healing journey that I've been on. That actually is what sent me to going back to look at the fibroids that I had, because my hair was growing slower in my frontal area, and I was just like, let me check this out. So if you haven't heard about a company called Myavana, go check out their hair analysis. The short of the long is that when I sat in the consultation, I was told, or I was asked if there were any health issues that I had. And I was like, no, I'm pretty in good health, pretty much in good health, but I've been told I have fibroids. And pretty much, I felt like I was in a doctor's office where the person and the consultation, it focused on, you will need to look at that, because that could be causing blood stoppage, and that could be contributing to slow hair growth. And I was like, what? Say less. So I use that as an example because I needed to make an adjustment. I actually had relegated the fibroid at that point in time. I was just like, well, they said there's nothing that can be done, and if it's not bothering anything, you just may need to live with it. I had to make an adjustment. I had to think about what I ultimately wanted. And what I realized, I'm going to go back to the drift that I talked about, is that while it wasn't damaging or bad or doing anything, so to speak, I was heading and it was impacting another area of my life. So my drift was not giving me the result that I want. I mentioned my hair because I have done different things so that I won't put as much pressure on my head and my hair, as I am still healing the fibroids and as I am going through the adjustment and doing the work. That may be something you may be like, well, I don't have that issue. I'm going to give an example of what I needed to do where I was working prior to my current role. I worked for a person who was not the easiest person to work for. And I pause and say that because I'm not talking about the person's character or any of that. However, what I am saying is that after going to different leaders because of different scenarios and pretty much being told that there was nothing that they could do about it, or people weren't willing to do something, I needed to make an adjustment. So I made the adjustment not to go on and on about the person, but I turned the situation into an area of change for me, making a better situation and a better scenario and a better decision for myself. I didn't complain, I didn't whine, I didn't drift and stay in a place that wasn't the healthiest for me, but I made an adjustment. So with those two examples, I'm going to ask you again, where might you need to adjust in your life? It may not be a horrible situation. I know the examples that I had, they maybe weren't the best, but the other place that I have is the way that I've been eating. I've been eating healthy, but I actually adjusted in making sure I give myself strength training. So adjusting for me is adding something into my life and into my world. And then the final area of adjustment for me, I'm just giving examples that I have learned and am learning, that the way that I handle myself in compassion, I'm adjusting and allowing the little girl Jasmine to come into the room and come into the space where she has been ignored from other people and sometimes myself. The reason why I'm calling this an adjustment is because the more that I listen to the cries and the concerns, or even the fears and the joy that I have as a little girl, I'm allowing myself to come fully into the room and fully into a scenario. Adjusting because I want to have a well-connected relationship with myself so that I can better be connected with other people, because the way that I treat myself, it shows up. So where do you need to make adjustments? I am encouraging you to think about it. Don't give yourself judgment or criticism about, oh my goodness, I gotta change something. That can even be an adjustment. Just giving yourself the love of, hey, I want to be curious. Let's see where I can make some adjustments for myself. So if there's anything that you would like to make the adjustment, remember 2 things. It doesn't have to be a bad thing for you to make the adjustment. And the second thing is that the adjustment that you make, it can help you not drift into a place or in a space that takes you out of where you ultimately want to be. I'm going to put a plug here for my book, Healthy by Design. There are resources and connections that you can have when you purchase. There's a QR code in the back of the book. And that can connect you to people, places, courses, books, things that you can utilize to make adjustments. I say you are worthy, you are enough, and you are loved. So, where will you choose to make an adjustment for your life? Till next time, take care.